Don't miss September's awesome White Dwarf showcasing the 30th anniversary of Warhammer 40k and the Death Guard.
Spiky bits.
What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today, taking a look at September's fantastic White Dwarf. Now, of course, it's been 30 years since first edition Rogue Trader era of the Warhammers 40k came out, and they're celebrating this year with two posters in here. Well, one of them's Total War 2 that's coming out, but nonetheless, this is a great, awesome White Dwarf. I know last week or last month I said, hey, this White Dwarf, it might be kind of filler, you might want to pass on it. This month is chock full of all sorts of dope features, plus a really great paint spotter article as well, and a showcase on all the upcoming Death Guard. Some AdMech stuff, but a lot of hobby content is in here, which I think is really what a lot of us read this stuff for. There's a lot of battle reports and things. First of all, a couple of housekeeping about the hobby, just in general. Remember, if you are on the 1-year subscription plan, it probably just ran out for you. So if you got a letter in the mail and you're like, hey, where's my White Dwarf? Well, chances are you need to resubscribe. So make sure you hit up GW about that in an appropriate country and appropriate place. Next month in October is the Armies on Parade throughout the GW stores around the world, around the land. So, you know, start planning now. They have a couple of features in here about how you can get going on your own display board and everything. So don't forget that one either. As you can probably tell, my voice is a little under the weather. I apologize. It is the season. I've been pushing myself a little too hard here lately in the studio, but that's okay. We'll get back on track. So once you open this up, and it's a nice little kind of corrugated cardboard type thing to hopefully make sure that these posters survive intact to your door, you're going to get the White Dwarf issue itself, which you can see here, the Crimson Fist Last Stand, which of course was on the cover of the old Rogue Trader rulebook. Then you're going to get two posters, which is the larger version of this, which instead of Orc Dreadnoughts in the background, this time we got Orc Stompers in the background. We all know how that's going to end for these guys, unfortunately. Or fortunately if you're the Orcs. So there it is. Fantastic poster, full size, definitely suitable for framing. It is awesome. Looks like some Mark IV plate here. You got some beakies. Got all sorts of dudes in here. I don't think these are Primaris Marines. Nope, I don't think they are, but nonetheless, still a great looking poster. One of the best reasons to pick up. I always like picking up the White Dwarf issues when they have, you know, the posters in them and get them things framed. You always be like, oh, I remember that issue, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. Total War Warhammer 2 coming out in September, coming in hot. They got this this poster here. It's looking great. I know a lot of people are definitely amped for it. They just announced Vermintide 2 is coming, which doesn't look like it's an end times thing. It looks like it might be a prequel or something like that. So head on over to Steam if that tickles your fancy there. On the inside cover, we got an ad for the new Shadespire, which looks to be going on sale the last week of the month, according to Warhammer Community. So lots of cool stuff coming out for that. Exclusive miniatures, of course. Lots and lots on that as we get closer. And of course, another Lady Cast figure coming in that one, right along with Blight Wars, which we're seeing this week as well. You can check out our review unboxing of that one. That's accompanying this unboxing video here. So feature-wise, like I said, a lot of dope stuff in here. They've got a recreation of the Crimson Fist Last Stand on Rin's World when the Orcs came smashing into there. There you can see the two different versions, the poster from a lot of the old Rogue Trader covers and art and books and things like that back in the day, and here's the updated version to where we're at today. Lots of interviews in here. They have Planet Warhammer, which is also in here. It's great looking stuff, going over basically all the hottest things right now in the hobby for Games Workshop. They have some new updated Warhammer, Hobbit rules in here as well. Looks like they're coming out with a couple of Lake Town releases from Forge World, which I don't think we've seen yet, but everything else in here for Forge World, I believe, is out as of this recording right now. The 4 Warlords feature, the final, I guess it was their final painted armies, fantastic. Their stuff's looking great. I love looking at these guys' stuff. You get those hobby juices going. A feature on allies, and the new General's Handbook is here, of course, so you can put in 400 points of allies for every 2,000 points of your normal army. So if you're playing a 2,000 point Age of Sigmar army, 400 points of those can be an appropriate ally per the General's Handbook. More on that, I'm sure. So just going over all the different editions and things, and just giving some previews. Here's the new releases, the Primaris Intercessor, which will be coming out next week. This is the limited edition one. There is also a version, or he comes also with a Baer head there as well, which is the paint splatter feature in this article. Then of course, going into the Death Guard, you've probably seen these teaser pictures came out earlier in the week, so you've probably seen all this stuff already. We know there's going to be 33 units in the Death Guard book, I think it was 17 stratagems. You have 7 psychic powers, so the 6 they would normally get. We know there's the 3 from the Index and also the Codex. Well, the miasma's coming over from the Codex as well. They said something in here about, Blades of Putrefaction is also one that's going to be in here. Then you've got all of the Death Guard Collector's Edition, the book, everything comes out the 16th, $40. The Collector's Edition, 60. Data card, 80. Data cards, $15, and they're going to have their own set of dice, of course. Mortarion clocking in at 140, and I think he looks a lot better in this picture than this picture that made its rounds pretty early around the internet there. It was there's a lot of saturation on this picture. It's hard to see, and now we can also see up here at the top that these are indeed Inceptor models and no new jump pack models for Nurgle, unfortunately. But it was kind of hard to see from the blurriness of the picture that was taken. But I think you can see a lot more of the detail. It's a little less saturated, and I think, man, looking at this, Mortarion's looking sick. I hope there's some options for his head. I really can't wait to get this model in my hands on the 16th. We also know, well, hey, there's AdMech coming out as well. Baller Series is going to be $55 by himself. The book $40, Collector's Edition $80. Next week, along with the limited edition Intercessor model, you have the 5-pack Combat Squads for $35 each. This is all stuff we've seen already. And this week's Blight War also coming out at $160. You can check out our review, obviously, here on the channel as well. But the 2 new models in here are Neve Black Talon, I believe it is, and Horticulus Slamulex, or Mr. Snails, as I like to call them. So great looking miniatures. Can't wait to get those in my hands. We've seen all this stuff already. Let's move on to some features. There's the stuff that's already out from Forge World. Some more Lake Town releases, books, video games, lots and lots of features in here. Season of Firestorm looks to be the new campaign. A box set containing everything you need to run map-based campaigns for up to 4 players for the Age of Sigmar. So something else coming out soon that we hadn't perhaps heard about quite yet. Some letters and things like that. Let's go look at the features here. So first off, there is a battle report in here. It's going to be your Orcs versus your Crimson Fist. How apropos. The thing that started off 30 years ago there. There is also another battle report in here. Ultramarines and Crimson Fist, Ultramarines and Imperial Fist against some Chaos, which definitely is apropos these days. I like that Thunderhawk landing pad right there, and then they've got another tray. Some other good stuff in here. Let's show you. Oh, they got some flip outs. So they got a couple of little fold outs here, and I think this is the picture we saw with some of the spoilers for all of the Nurgle stuff here, but it's just kind of like a big, Imperial versus Chaos type deal with Mortarion at the 4, Magnus in the back. I guess the Imperium needs another Primarch. The scales of power have tipped once again. We need more Primarchs. Need more Primarch power. Here's the feature on the allies, but so this this Iron Warriors army looks great for the Tale of 4 Warlords feature in here. Fantastic looking stuff from the Hellbrute to Land Raider to Vindicator on up to the Knight that's kind of indentured over to the Iron Warriors, and then all 4 of the guys are in there. Feature on the allies and allegiances. Talking about all that, of course, you can pair up a lot of these guys now in combinations that you weren't able to previously. Now, overall, check your PDFs, because a lot of things they may have to, like for Skaven, for instance, you used to have a War Scroll PDF that was like 34 pages long. Now you have a Skaven PDF that's like 4 pages long. A lot of stuff was kind of truncated down, like for instance, we'll just go with Queek. Head Taker is now just a generic Warlord. So if you haven't checked yet, make sure you download those War Scrolls, because some of your stuff might be superseded and you might not be aware of that. So you might want to turn and get some new allies. Of course, points went up, points changed in a lot of cases for things like, for instance, for my Beast Claw Raiders. Now you've got an issue where the Mournfangs went down in price by like 40 points, but a lot of the big fatties went up in price. Plus there's additional errata on how the Stonehorn resilience kind of works, that it applies to mortal wounds and you round up for the damage characteristic of the pro. So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of content out there to digest for Age of Sigmar, but if you get through all that, make sure you make the appropriate changes to your brand new Age of Sigmar army or your existing Age of Sigmar army. Some stuff in here about converting your characters over and things. Here's that Armies on Parade feature I was talking about. It looks great. You know, it gives you some ideas on the 2x2 tables, which of course are the Realm of Battle is that exact size. So, you know, pick you up some of that Necromunda terrain or that Armageddon terrain. Fits in just great. It's, you know, it's all about the height sometimes to get noticed when it comes to the Armies on Parade. You want the height, you want the detail. I personally recommend people try to avoid water features, and there's a lot of work involved with water features, but unfortunately people don't give the respect to, you know, water features that for the time it takes to let the coats dry and all that work and everything. You might want to just try some simple contrast, some simple, you know, maybe like wood planking and things like that. I don't think it's bad to do it, but I just don't think you're going to get the credit you deserve. I've seen it time and time again at bigger cons. You know, people with LEDs went out over, you know, water effects, which, I mean, they're both difficult, but I feel like water is a little bit more difficult to work with. Paint splatter, like I said, this month was is the limited edition Intercessor. There's the head that we hadn't seen yet. That looks great with those dope scars in there, telling you how to paint the Crimson Fist Pro style. Definitely like this shading right here. You know, black is always, or dark blue is one of the colors that's difficult to do, and you want to make sure you stay in the right tonality. And they give you a great guide right here to that. Realms of Battle, talking about working with those new creeper vines and things a little bit more in depth than they did last time. We have a great review up where I used that actual hot air gun to show you how you can actually twist these things around and they will stay in place on your miniatures, and you can also paint them and then kind of warp them into place. But here to give you an idea, they look great. I love the stuff. Again, you know, if you can find aquatic plants and things from a pet store, that might work a little better. Hard to say. But, you know, it all comes down to pricing at the end of the day. The skulls boxes out of there are the normal multi-part plastic, so don't worry about that. That's the stuff. You're going to have to do a little shaving on the mold lines, but other than that, it's good to go. And then it gets into more showcases in the back, more showcases in the back, and then the teasers for next month. Hard to say. It looks like there's going to be another battle report, etc., etc. As far as releases go, we know the Death Guard's coming out. We know Shadespire will go on sale. I think they said the last week of the month, but now we're seeing that there's an Age of Sigmar release as well, so they might break up the Nurgle Death Guard release a bit, you know, kind of sliding into October. But we know there's more codexes on the way for sure. We know there is a chapter approved on the way for sure, so a lot more stuff coming out and to look forward to. But this again is a great issue, probably definitely worth your hobby dollars, and reminiscing about the last 30 years of White Dwarf, and also some great hobby features in here and some great showcases to get those hobby juices going. So that's it for this one, folks. Thank you for watching. If you like our features here on this channel, make sure you subscribe to us and turn notifications on so you can be the very first to like and comment on our videos here. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.